Hello everyone, Owl here, and welcome to Hugh Dunnit and the Murder at McGuilty Mansion. This is another visual novel, mystery, choose-your-own-adventure kind of thing I found on itch.io, made by a user called A. There's actually a bunch of people who worked on this project whose names I feel are more trustworthy than just a three-letter word. Their names are those guys. Anywho, this name's channel is ItsOwlRight. The main character of this game is an owl. How could I not? The plot is basically as such. 4 famous detectives are called into a murder scene, only for the body to vanish and the doors to be locked behind them. A new mystery unravels, and they must solve it. There was actually a movie that came out in the late 70s called Murder by Death that was very similar to this. But enough chit-chat. We got a murder to solve. On a mysteriously odd evening, I received a shocking call. Help! Come quick! Ames McGuilty has been murdered. I rushed to the scene only to find 3 of my colleagues talking amongst themselves. Huh. Also, suddenly the screen, which before was rather small, suddenly became rather big. Suspicious. Done it! You too? What do you mean? Were you all called too? Indeed. We haven't gone in yet, however. There doesn't seem to be any police here. Do any of you know who made the call? Not at all. I didn't recognize the voice. We should go inside. They should be waiting for help. We all walked up to the McGuilty Mansion and found the door unlocked. Upon entering, we were greeted by a terrifying sight. Oh my. Lying in a pool of blood was the body of Ames McGuilty, with a knife sticking out of her back. My God. I began to look around and found no one in sight. Someone made the call, but why wasn't anyone here? Suddenly I saw Benji fall to the floor with a loud thud. Sylvia and Seymour followed as a sickening smell began to flood my nose. Soon, everything went black, just the way I like my coffee. When I awoke, the room felt smaller and darker. Then I realized the windows and doors were gone. We were still in the living room of the McGuilty Mansion, but there was no way out. Done it. You're awake. What happened? Chloroform gas. We were out for an hour, it looks like. The body's missing, and the room's been sealed up. There's no way out that we've seen so far. What the hell? Nobody else was here. Where did Ames go? We don't know. There must have been somebody else in the house that gassed us. But other than the body and the walls, the rest of the crime scene looks untouched. I looked around and saw the pool of blood was still there, with a knife lying right on top. Whoever took the body removed the knife. Why leave the evidence out in the open? It makes no sense. I should look around for more clues, or a way out. Alright. Interesting. I also like how, even when I'm going to a crime scene, I still wear my shorts. My legs gotta breathe. Let's see. Huh. It appears to be McGuilty was reading this letter before the incidents. Dearest Ames McGuilty, it's been quite some time since the last we spoke. It will have been 5 years this November. Why ever did we go so long without seeing each other? Whatever the reason, I have missed our time together. Every second spent with you was like a dazzling dream, and I can't see why we would ever be apart for so long. If I had to guess, it would have something to do with that big oaf Seymour demise. Well, won't have to worry about that for long, my dear. Yours truly, M&M. Guess I should talk to Mr. Mize and see if he knows anything about someone with the initials MM. Interesting. I like this setup. This isn't exactly how I thought it would happen. I thought it was going to be more visual novel, less, gameplay. I see a lot of clues, but we're supposed to talk to, Demise. Cecil, I believe his name was. Could be wrong. I'm not that good of a detective. yet. MM? From 5 years ago? Ah, that must be Margaret murdered. She was involved in the case Ames and I worked on. She was a crazy cat with a misguided obsession with Ames. She murdered some poor old lady just to get Ames' attention. She wasn't too happy that I was on the case as well. Her obsession with Ames was worse than the crazy Batzone obsession with herself. Margaret had portraits of Ames all over her apartment, kind of like the ones on the wall over there. Unfortunately, I don't think she could be the one responsible. She's locked up on the other side of the world. Yeah, you say that now, Poindexter, but people have a way of breaking out of prisons, if you know what I mean. God, this is good opium. Let's take a look at some more clues. Oh wait, we already saw this clue. Photographs like this one, you say? Maybe I can't interact with it yet. Gotta do things in proper sequence, I believe. Oh, now who's the sexy frog doing the spready? Maybe she'll come back, lightning is said to strike twice. Storm of a lifetime, weathering away, changing winds never ceasing. Whip into a storm, cut trees one by one, trying to outgrow me now, sing as they fall down. Interesting. This Bahook has seen better days. Ick, it's probably covered in bugs. Nasty. Seems like we are on some sort of hit list. McGuilty was the first target. Looks like old Bingy Boy is the only one not underlined. A mishap by the perpetrator, or a calculated move. I should see how old Bingy Boohoo is holding up. Bingy, I believe, was the hippo. If I come down there, sorry, pig, but you know, could have fooled me. Pardon me, Mr. Dunnit, but it seems like you are insinuating that I had something to do with this. Why would I trap myself with all of you if I was trying to trap all of you? As for that disgraceful-looking book, it definitely doesn't belong on Mr. McGilty's pristine shelves. It must be the work of the psychopath that killed her. This mystery fool left even more incriminating evidence at the scene of the crime, which obviously proves that they are not the most precise criminal. Yeah, but that's something that a murderer would say. I'm watching you. Sus on purple, everybody. Sus on purple. Alright, we haven't talked to our femme fatale friend over here. The sexy fox, who oddly enough is also a fox. And the only other person to bring an opium pipe. Thank God, I thought I was the only one.
What are you looking at me for? I've heard of her in the papers before, but I've never formally met her. She worked with a different agency.
I see. There's gotta be something we're missing here. Something I've overlooked. Like this lamp. No. Not the lamp. What about this book here? No. Photograph? No. Ah, now I can look at this portrait, of course. From afar it's hard to tell, but there seems to be something written on the painting. A poem? Those that seek, none shall flee. Cunning fox, one must be shackled lock. Scattered key. What kind of nonsense is this? It has nothing to do with the picture it's on. But maybe it's something to do with the predicament we are in. I don't believe we have the most cunning of foxes right here. I should have a chat with Miss Sylvia Slitthroat. You know, there's a creepy poem on that portrait that seems to mention a sexy fox. You wouldn't know anything about that, would you, babe?
Like I said, I have never formally met her. The only things I know about her are that she was, one of the greatest detectives, and some nonsense I read on one of those childish news articles when I was younger about her wishing to be an escape artist in another life, and a dislike for long reads. As for the poem, I hate to pluck your feathers, Hugh, but that just seems to be the amateurish stylings of a crazy old bat. I don't know what any of it means, but the only key I have seen is sitting next to that ragged old book, and there are no locks anywhere to be found.
Ah, I see. Alright, so even though we can see clues, we can only click on them in the proper order. I suspected as much. Alright, so let's take a look at this key then. It won't let me interact with the key yet. So we're missing something. The knife? No. Right. Well, if I can't go and look at the key, perhaps I should try to figure out Where's that key go? Aha! The massive bookshelf. Of course. Secret staircase. Classic. When I pulled a book out, the bookshelf suddenly opened into a stairwell. The four of us rushed upstairs, hoping it would lead to freedom. We emerged from a panel under the floor, seeing the walls of the living room when we first entered the mansion. I realized we had been trapped in a basement that had the same exact layout and furniture. Sylvia suddenly shrieked, and I whip around to the front door, where Ames, alive, was standing in front of a boarded-up door, pointing a pistol towards us. Huh. The old fake-your-own-death by pretending to be stabbed trick. Ames, you're alive.
How the hell did you get out? The old bookcase passage trick is child's play. For the world's best detective, you're horrible at creating escape rooms.
It seems like a little more difficult for a detective to commit a crime than I thought. For it was you who made our escape possible.
What are you blabbering about?
The clues you left trying to point fingers at each of the detectives did nothing more than start a conversation about what we knew about you. Then it was just a matter of time before we found our way out of that dungeon and to who the mastermind behind this debacle. That would be Yahoo, Ames McGilty. The washed-up, self-absorbed old coot who can't stand losing the spotlight.
Objection!
You're not in front of the judge yet, you demented hag.
Shut up, you fat pig! Die!
Ugh. A gunshot rang out, and everyone except Seymour jumped to the ground. The large bear tackled the smaller bat, yanking the gun from her hands and holding her arms behind her back.
Get off of me, you brute!
Ames McGilty, I'm putting you under arrest. Benji, Sylvia and I all stood up and ran over to help Seymour. Yeah, that echolocation, God.
Y'all deserve to be dead! You're taking away my livelihood! Everything I worked so hard to build! So you thought to get rid of all the competition. What made you crazy enough to think this would work? How dare you! I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you presumptuous bambinos!
Go find the police. I need to put this insane hag in jail. We nodded to each other and dashed off towards the town to find the authorities. We came back with them, and Ames was officially arrested and locked up in the city jail. I don't understand these transcriptions. Upon investigation, it was published in the papers that Ames was losing business to the younger detectives of the city, like Sylvia and I. She also intended to kill Benji and Seymour to prevent them from looking into her plot. Unfortunately for her, she didn't exactly think her plan of getting the four best detectives in one room all the way through. It was a strange evening indeed, that murder at McGilty Mansion.
The end! Yay! Wow, you know, that was fun. That was cute. I liked that. I liked the art style. I wish it was longer, obviously. I wish there was a bit more. But at the same time, that was highly enjoyable. I mean, I know this game was apparently made for Game Jam 2020, so this was just like, you know, a project for a game competition. But I gotta be honest, I really wish they would expand upon this. I would love to do more whodunit mysteries, you know? The only complaint I have is the sound effect of when the animals are talking, like the Banjo-Kazooie thing. I didn't like the way it sounded. I actually lowered the sound incredibly because it was just bugging me. So you're probably just gonna hear like whatever jazz music I decide to throw in. But otherwise, awesome game, loved it. I hope they make more. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe anyway. I, of course, will have the link for this game in the description below. Show the devs some love, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Mwah!